Yeah.
My computer says it's 6:30.
Mine says 6:29.
Let me see. I thought all computers would be on the same clock.
I would too.
Amazing. Turn on.
Jim, what does yours say?
Now it says
6:30. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. This is Burlington City Council meeting number 14, July 16th, 2012 at 6:30 in Thomas J. Smith Council Chambers. Would you join me in a pledge of allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please, Kathy.
Reed.
Here.
Anderson. Here. Davidson.
Here.
Fleming.
Here.
McCampbell.
Here.
Thank you. We have two certificates of recognition for, shall we say, longevity of service. Councilwoman Anderson has the first one.
Yes, the certificate of recognition in grateful recognition of 40 years of dedicated service to the city of Burlington as of July 6, 2012. We hereby present Sharon Stonehouse with this certificate of recognition. It's signed Jim Furneaux, city manager. And I wanted to give this because I grew up in the same town with Sharon in Argyle. Yeah.
40 years, that's...
Thank you very much.
Not yet, all right. Well, when it happens, that will be...
You will.
Okay, that means I don't look at all like I looked growing up.
That's good or that?
Not good.
Mayor Pro Tem Reed has the next one.
Yes, I do have a certificate of recognition and grateful recognition of 30 years of dedicated service to the city of Burlington. As of July 28th, 2012, we hereby present Teresa Norton with the certification of recognition, signed Jim Furneaux. No, I did not go to school. Or go. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm sitting here.
No one said we won't work all day.
Okay. All right.
Well, 30 years, I'm thinking of it. Yeah, thank you very much.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
2.6. You're taller than I
Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you.
Former Chief, do you want to say anything? No? Okay. Next, we have a proclamation of retirement. Whereas Detmer Kobza has served the city of Burlington, Iowa and the Burlington Fire Department from June 17, 1991 to July 2, 2012. And whereas Detmer F. Kobza has given 21 years of exemplary service to the city of Burlington, Iowa and the Burlington Fire Department. And whereas Detmer F. Kobza has entered in retirement on July 2, 2012. Now, therefore, we, the City Council of the City of Burlington, Iowa, would like to congratulate Detmer on his retirement and thank him for his excellent years of service. Signed and sealed the 16th day of July, 2012, Jim Davidson, Mayor. And whenever a firefighter retires, we also have this nice plaque with the firefighters on it. Detmer's not here, but Fire Chief is, so I'm going to give these to him.
Thank you. I'll make sure they get to the right spot.
Thank you, Chief. You want to say anything?
No.
All right.
Dr. Detmer.
Thank you, Chief. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. All matters listed under item 1, consent agenda, having been discussed, are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There'll be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. On the consent agenda tonight, we have a relatively short list. Our usual finances and miscellaneous, minutes of previous meetings, payroll and city claims, beer, liquor, wine, and cigarette license, reports, and bonds. We have 4 resolutions on the consent agenda. Resolution approving nuisance abatements for various properties. Resolution approving purchase of a Toro Groundmaster 3280D for the Parks Department. Resolution awarding contract for design and construction, observation of Phase 3 of Flint River Trail. And resolution approving agreement with the Phelps Uniform Specialist to provide uniform rental and service. We have 2 appointments that Mayor Pro Tem Reed will.
Yes, Your Honor, we have one individual for the Historic Preservation Commission, Inez Metzger, and Animal Hearing Board, Amy Egan.
And we'd like to thank those folks for volunteering. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to have any of these items removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none. Council, do you have any that you'd like to have removed?
No.
No. Okay. Roll call, please.
Actually, I need a motion.
I'm sorry.
I make a motion to approve all listed under item 1, consent agenda.
Second that.
Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Mr. McCampbell. Now.
Reed.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Fleming.
Aye.
McCampbell.
Aye.
Thank you, folks. The motion is carried. Now we have time set aside for a hearing for consideration of an ordinance amending Section 160.04 unsafe buildings of Chapter 160, abandoned or unsafe buildings of the City of Burlington Municipal Code. And I'd like to have Eric give us some background on that, please.
This is update of Chapter 160, which has a provision for any area where a structure has been used for the making, manufacturing, or cooking of methamphetamine. And our code change that we're looking at is going from a 0.5 micrograms per square foot requirement to 0.1 micrograms per 100 square centimeters. And the change is primarily due to the testing results that we get back from labs, comes in that micrograms per 100 square centimeters, so it's a little more clear for staff and for someone that may own a structure, getting it clean and knowing what the requirements are. It's also clarifying the section for the areas that need testing to be done in each room, including basements, attic areas, and heating and cooling duct systems. So that's kind of the change, is a little clarification. This code section was adopted, I believe, about 6 or 7 years ago and hasn't been changed since. So just through the enforcement of it, we found a few areas that we wanted to clean up.
Okay. Any questions, Council?
Don't have any.
Is anyone from the audience wishing to comment? Seeing none. Any comments, Council?
No.
I'll entertain a motion then.
I make a motion to close.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close the hearing. Kathleen?
Reed.
Aye.
Anderson. Aye. Davidson.
Aye.
Fleming.
Aye.
McCampbell.
Aye.
Hearing is closed. Do we have any discussion, Council?
No.
Okay. Mr. McCampbell?
I have a motion for preliminary adoption of an ordinance amending Section 160.04 unsafe buildings of Chapter 160, abandoned or unsafe buildings of the City of Burlington Municipal Code.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and having had no real discussion, we might as well just go. Kathleen?
Reed.
Aye.
Anderson. Aye. Davidson.
Aye.
Fleming.
Aye.
McCampbell.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Thank you, folks. Now we have a public hearing, consideration of an ordinance amending ordinance number 2947 as previously amending the provision of the urban revitalization plan for the city of Burlington, Iowa. Again, Eric, what do you have to say about this one?
It's been our discussion the past couple months, looking to update the urban revitalization plan, which is the tax abatement program for the city of Burlington, to eliminate the $75,000 cap that tax abatement applies to for residential properties. In that as well, we looked at some minor changes to the application requirements and some other minor wording. So essentially this applies to any residential dwellings assessed as residential or commercial, and any non-residential property assessed as commercial would be allowed a 3-year 100% tax abatement or a 10-year sliding scale from 80% down to 20% in the 10th year for the entire amount of improvement value. So if they construct a $150,000 home, that would qualify for the full $150,000 of improvement. It also applies for rehabilitation. Again, it has to add 15% to the current value to apply. And then made a couple of revisions to the application requirements, making sure that a building permit and codes are followed and a certificate of occupancy is applied for, just for, I guess, our tracking records in approving the applications.
Okay. We have any questions? Council from Eric? Anyone from the audience wishing to comment?
Your Honor, I move that we close.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Kathleen?
Reed.
Aye.
Anderson. Aye. Davidson.
Aye.
Fleming.
Aye.
McCampbell.
Aye.
Your Honor, we have a motion for preliminary adoption of an ordinance, amending ordinance number 2947 as previously amended, amending the provisions of the urban revitalization plan for the city of Burlington, Iowa.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or discussion, council?
No, we've discussed it.
Okay.
Great length.
Yep, I think it's a good plan. Okay, Kathleen?
Reed.
Aye.
Anderson. Aye. Davidson.
Aye.
Fleming.
Aye.
McCampbell.
Aye.
Now we have a number one ordinance and then 3 resolutions to deal with.
Yes, Your Honor, I have a ordinance or motion for preliminary adoption of a second reading of an ordinance rezoning the property locally known as 3460 Augusta Road from M2 Heavy Industrial Zoning District to M1 Light Industrial Zoning District.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. No change on this one from previously, Eric,
No
is there?
changes.
From the first reading, it's the same. Anyone from the audience wishing to comment? Council, you have any questions or comments?
So keep it out of the area.
Okay, we'll entertain that.
On that, Your Honor, I have a motion to amend the motion for preliminary adoption of the second reading of an ordinance rezoning the property locally known as 3460 Augusta Road from M2 Heavy Industrial Zoning District to M1 Light Industrial Zoning District to read as follows. For waiver of preliminary consideration and adoption of the second reading and for final adoption of the ordinance rezoning the property locally known as 3460 Augusta Road from M2 Heavy Industrial Zoning District to M1 Light Industrial Zoning District.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to amend. In essence, we're
Waiving the third.
waiving the second reading, going right to the third. Kathleen?
Reed.
Aye.
Anderson. Aye. Davidson.
Aye.
Fleming.
Aye.
McCampbell.
Aye.
Now, on the original motion as amended, Kathleen?
Reed.
Aye.
Anderson. Aye. Davidson.
Aye.
Fleming.
Aye.
McCampbell.
Aye.
Thank you, folks. The motion is carried. 3 resolutions to deal with.
Yes, Your Honor. The first resolution approving the final plan of Forney and Mellinger subdivision.
Second.
We have a motion and a second approving the final plat. Mr. Tisland?
Yeah, this is a 3-lot subdivision locally known as the Bookend Building. It's at the northeast corner of 6th Street and Jefferson Street. Currently, the property, currently the property has 2 separate lots with a lot line running down the center of the middle building, and looking to create a separate lot for the 2 bookends and the separate lot for the center building. No major changes here. I did note there would be a couple building code changes with the property lines, which we passed along to DPI. Moving the property line changes that a little bit. But,
Okay.
it is, I guess, pretty straightforward and seems more appropriate than what was there in the past. So
Yeah.
this will give a property line to each building.
Sweet.
And the basic idea is to help in rehabbing that,
It'll
right?
help in rehab and sale of the property.
Okay.
Good. We'll move forward.
Questions, council? Anyone from the audience wishing to comment? Seeing none. Ready to, Kathleen?
Reed?
Aye.
Anderson? Aye. Davidson?
Aye.
Fleming?
Aye.
McCampbell?
Aye.
Motion is carried.
I have a resolution of support and financial commitment for the Main Street program in City of Burlington, Iowa.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and Mrs. Stucker. Are you handling this one? Steve Freebert. Okay, we'll pass the buck on to Steve Freebert.
Steve Freebert, Executive Director for Downtown Partners. This is, what would it be, biennial resolution. Every 2 years comes before the council. They've reaffirmed their philosophical support for the Main Street program. I understand there was some discussion or consideration of the term financial support, and that's in there just as a general. That does not obligate the city to any particular dollar figure. Obviously, this is something that IEDA wants to see now in the middle of the year, but it's not really your budget time yet, so they don't come at the same time. That'll be a discussion they have later on. So.
And you already answered the question I was going to ask you.
Okay.
Mine too.
The financial aspect. So.
I noticed in the agreement, it says something about the council is to be represented on the directors of the Main Street. Is that DPI or who is that?
Yes, yeah, Downtown Partners is Burlington's Main Street program.
Okay.
Councilor Fleming does an excellent job.
Yeah.
That answers my question, too.
Thank you very much.
All right. Any other questions, council?
Nope. I just.
Thank you, Steve.
I don't have any.
Anyone else from the audience? Okay. Any discussion, council? Ready for a vote? Kathleen?
Reed?
Aye.
Anderson?
Aye.
Davidson?
Aye.
Fleming?
Aye.
McCampbell?
Aye.
Motion is carried. One more.
Okay, I have a resolution approving funding for the Dresser Rand Building redevelopment from the Local Option Sales Tax Economic Development Fund.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second.
Second.
Now, Mrs. Stuker. Can you give us a little background on this one, please?
Sure. This is the loan that we have. It was originally $1 million with the Iowa Department of Economic Development we bought the Dresser Rand building with this loan. We have a 2% interest rate. It's due to be paid off in 2018. We pay approximately $10,000 a month for this loan right now. So Jim has negotiated a payoff amount as of August 1st for 80% of the principal that we owe. So which will result in a savings of approximately $111,000, and also will save about $36,800 in interest by paying it off early. So
Steph,
Wonderful.
did you say those payments were $10,000 a month?
approximately, it's like $9,800 and
And I guess I could speak for the Economic Development Committee. I serve on
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
And part of those funds, almost half of it, isn't it, or a good part of that fund is coming from the economic development.
all of the money to pay off this loan will come from our economic development, local option sales tax that we've set aside.
Yes,
for
so that
economic
usually
development.
goes to our committee to decide what to do, and we discussed it last week and decided that we wanted this to be done, though that would deplete our funds pretty much for a year, but felt it was in the best interest of the city.
Because you guys are cool.
Yes, that's right. And good-hearted.
That's right. And very good.
And intelligent. Anyone from the audience wishing to comment on this issue? Seeing none. Council, what discussion do we have?
I don't have any.
Good move.
It is a good
Good
move.
move.
It's
Saving money all the way around.
it'd be almost $150,000, I would say. Thank God. Okay. Kathleen?
Reed.
Aye.
Anderson. Aye. Davidson.
Aye.
Fleming.
Aye.
McCampbell.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Now is the time set aside for comments from the audience. Anyone wishing to address the council on any issue that we have not previously discussed this evening is welcome to do so. Seeing none. Council, you have any comments?
See, groundbreaking tomorrow for the animal shelter.
Yes.
At 9 a.m. This would be a good thing since it's a jointly owned building, city-owned building, but going in good partnership with them, so.
I'm going to be there.
As I will.
Looking forward to that. Mike Anderson didn't get a haircut as well. I just want that noted for the record, Mr. Mayor.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Blaine.
All right. Okay. Okay. Don't have anything else either, so I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn.
Reed.
Aye.
Anderson. Aye. Davidson.
Aye.
Fleming.
Aye.
McCampbell.
Aye.
Thank you for coming, folks. God bless you and God bless Burlington.
Amen.
We could make the movie now, tonight, yeah.
Yeah. It's on tonight.
You don't know.
Kenya or something, it's about a dancer, it's a foreign film, but if you buy, you should give this advertisement, if you buy a family membership or individual membership, like for me, an individual